The front part of this short look like a skirt, but it's completely a short. This skirt is just attached to the sides of the front piece and also the back piece, and it is closed open like this. You can remove the skirt part and still have your short back. We are going to make it from start to finish. By the way, my name is Grace. I'm starting by folding my material into two. At the edge of this material, I come down by 1 inch. This 1 inch is my waistline as well as my starting line. Because I'm going to be attaching a band to this short, I'm folding the length of my band like this, which is 1.5. I place 1.5 and that 1 inch I came down with. From there, I'm marking my hip point 9 inch, my crotch point 12 inch, my thigh point 14 inch, or from the crotch line you come down by 2 inch. That is the length of your thigh length. And for the length of my short, I'm marking 18.5 and I connect this point. Because I don't want my short to be shorter, after sewing, I will be adding 1.5 inch for stitching allowance. You can see me labeling my work, the hip point, the crotch point, the thigh, and the length. So this 1.5 inch is actually for folding allowance. After drafting, even at the waist, I will be adding ½ inch that will help me join my short and my band together. So right now, I'm dividing my hip circumference into 4. When that is done, I'm placing it at the crotch line. I mark that point. I'm going to be adding 1 inch for each allowance, okay? I measure what I have at that crotch. I'm going to repeat that same measurement at my waistline, and I will connect it on the straight line. So when that is done, I will be dividing quarter of my hip circumference into 4. This time around, that 1 inch we added is not included. My normal quarter hip circumference, I'm dividing it into 4. Whatever I have, I mark at that point, and that is my crotch extension. So I curve it out. In my case, I have 2.4. Yeah, so I mark it and cut it and curve it. I mark it and curve it this way. At this waistline, I'm inputting quarter of my waist circumference plus 1 inch for east. I'm going to be connecting it to the hip line. Guys, you can see from the camera the flower look seems as if we have 3 mark at this waist. Please ignore that point. Ignore the fact I only input quarter of my waist circumference plus 1 inch. That is what I did there. Is the other mark is the flower design, okay? Biggest area of my thigh, and divide it into 2 and mark that point. What I means is your thigh length, measure the widest area of your leg, divide it into 2. In my case, I have 24, so I divide that 24 into 2 and I mark that point, which is 12, okay? And I add 1 inch for stitching allowance. I added 1 inch for stitching allowance. I measure what I have at my thigh length and I input it at the hem line and I connect it. I told you guys that I will be adding ½ inch at this waistline, so I'm adding that ½ inch at the waistline and I connect it this way, after which I'm cutting it out. Guys, for some of you who are new into sewing, just place your tape at the upper of your lap circumference. After your hip, place your tape at the upper of your lap circumference. Whatever you have, in my case I have 24, so I divide that 24 into 2 and I mark it at the thigh length. Okay, so whatever you have, you mark it at your own thigh length. So that is what I did. Now I'm sloping my the center of my shorts by 3/4 inch. That will help my pant to fit nicely on my waist. If you have a very big tummy, please ignore this sloping, okay? And if you really have a very flat tummy, please slope it by 1 inch. So I'm folding my material again. At the top, I make sure I have at least 1 inch. At the side, I have at least 3 inch. So I'm extending my measurement. At the waistline, I mark 2 inch. At the hip line, I mark 2 inch. I'm connecting those 2 points on the straight line. I will ignore the cross for now. I will come to the thigh and mark 2 inch as well. I will mark 2 inch at the hem of my short and I will connect those 2 points on the straight line. Okay. At the cross line, I'm going to input in my cross extension for the back. In my own case, since I'm a small size person, I'm inputting 2.5 inch. So if you are a plus size person, you should consider 3 inch at this point. After which I connect it and curve it out like this. At this waistline, at the center of our waistline for the back, make sure you have 1 inch. Connect that 1 inch to the side seam. Connect that 1 inch to the sides of your front shorts, okay? Like this. Just watch what I'm doing. So you can see that the center of my back piece is higher than that of the front. That is good because it will help my boots. It will help my boots not to drag my shorts, okay? You need to do that. And guys, if you have a bigger hip or if you have a bigger boot, at that center of your back, please make sure you have like 2 inch or 1.5 inch depending on your size. So I'm going to be taking my short to my machine and stitch the cross line by half an inch, okay? When that is done, I'm inputting my dart measurement, and after that I will take it to my machine and stitch my dart down. So the width of my dart should be my bust span measurement plus half an inch. My bust span measurement is 7 inch. My bust span measurement is 7 inch. So when I divide that 7 inch into 2, I should be having 3.5 plus half an inch, which is 4 inch. So the width of my dart, I mark 4 inch. And when that is done, I've done holding my darts at this point. So you want to cut the overlap, the skate part of it for the front. So I'm placing my front piece on another folded piece, okay? This time around, I make sure that from the hip to that cross line, the straight line align, and I cut it out. You ignore the cross line because the cross line will be outside. Just make sure that the waist to the cross line align. you cut it out, the folded edge. You place it at the folded edge and you cut it out. At the down, you can also mark the middle line or the midpoint, the middle line or the midpoint of your skirt at the down. So what I'm doing right now, because I want to trim out some excess, I'm pinning my waistline. I'm arranging it. After arranging it, I will notice that I have excess at the waist, at the hip line to the waist, so I'm trimming it out. I trim it on both sides. Since we are using a freehand method, okay, maybe I'm going to film and upload a tutorial on how to make a pattern drafting for this very style. Okay, right now I'm aligning it again. So I still notice that I still have a little bit excess at the side seam. I'm cutting it out. I'm arranging it, the hip side and the hip line to align. You can see me trimming away the excess at the waistline. So at this point, I'm indicating the right side and the left side because I want this nodding, the rope to be on the left side. So at the waistline, I come in by 1 inch and I connect it down. Guys, you can see this, my line is not straight. I'm going to correct it later, okay? So make sure that you connect it on the straight line. After which you fold it like this and stitch it down. When that is done, I'm going to fold the hem of my skirt like this and also stitch it down. After that, I'm going to place back my short. Not this time around, the right side of my short facing up and also the right side of my skirt facing up. So to achieve that, remember we added 1.5 inch for stitching allowance, so I'm marking that point out. So after that, I'm going to place my skirt part on this very line and I'm arranging it. If possible, you pin it down. So I'm arranging it because that is the point that you're supposed to place your skirt down. So after pinning it, you notice that you still have a little bit of excess at the waistline, so you'll be trimming it off. Like I said, guys, this side that has rope, that my skirt part of it, it wasn't straight, so I corrected it later after sewing. I noticed that I still have excess. I have to loosen my work and still trim it out. So when you are connecting yours, make sure that it's on the straight line, okay? And even if you have excess, always try to loosen it and try it again. There is nothing bad in keep trying till you get the perfect look of what you want. So the width of my band right now is 4 inch. This material is not on fold, it's 4 inch. Remember, the width of the band we minus is 1.5 inch, and now I'm cutting 4 inch. So on folds, I'm going to have 2 inch. If I fold this band now, it's going to be 2 inch. You know, anytime we attach a band, it's always on fold. So when we fold it and have 2 inch, after stitching it down, we'll have 1.5 inch. So we are doing the right thing, okay? So I'm cutting my scrap now for the rope. This is the rope that I will be knotting at the left of my pants, okay? And I'm curving one side like this because I want to give it a kind of shape, while the other side will be open. So I'm done stitching it down. I'm flipping it to the right side. And after flipping it to the right side, you can see that one side is a little bit pencil, while this open edge will be the part that I will be attaching to the skate part of it, so that all the rough edge will conceal, okay? So I'm going to iron it flat. Guys, I forgot to tell you the length of this rope. I make use, after measuring it, I have 17 inch. That means that I cut out 17.5 inch, okay? You can see one edge is a bit pencil than the other. That is the style I'm going for. I've also ironed my band and I attached a medium weight interfacing. So you can fold your band like this and attach it the normal way we attach it. But in this tutorial, I'm going to be attaching it in a different way. Alright. So I've placed my skate pad the way it's supposed to be at the waistline. I'm coming down by, initially I marked 5 inch. I later changed my mind for 4.5 inch. So from the 4.5 inch line, I will be attaching my rope like this and stitch it down. This stitching I'm going to make will be on that same stitch, that same line that I've stitched before. So I stitch it down. It's important you do it that way so that there will be no two seam allowance at that part. So I'm placing the other side of my rope this way and I stitch it down. Initially I have 1 inch in mind. So when I measure my waist on top of the machine, I noticed that stitching it down by 1 inch will end up shortening my measurement. So I stitch down by 0.5 inch at this side seam. Even my front that I stitch it down, taking less than 0.5 inch on both sides because of the waist circumference was like a kind of shorten. So I actually take notes of my measurement as I'm sewing, okay? So I'm still measuring my waist to make sure that I have at least my waist measurement back, okay? And because the rope is going to be at the left, remember that our zip will be at the right side, okay? So I keep space for my zip. After that, I'm closing the crotch area like this from one midpoint to other, from one midpoint to the other end, and or you pin it down and stitch it from one edge to the other edge. So once I'm done with that, I flip it to the right side. Guys, you can see that our pants is taking shape already. All right. So before I attach this band, guys, you see this skate part and the waist and the short, I'm going to stitch down the waist, making sure that the skate and the short is now one piece. I will stitch it down with less than 0.5 inch just to hold it down. After that, I will be attaching my band like this. This is the method I want to use in attaching this band. because there's no need. I'll still weave down this short. I'm going to weave it. After stitching, I'll be right back. This is what I have. I actually have excess at the waist. So when cutting the length of your band, make sure that you add at least 2 inches to your normal waist circumference. So after stitching it that way, I'm going to open it up like this and top stitch inside that line. This method will help viewer not to notice that I actually top stitch on this. It's not obvious. So I top stitch inside that seam allowance, inside that joining allowance, so it doesn't show that I've stitched it down. I'm also going to attach my zip to it. Measure your zip, and with the space that you keep, for me it was a little bit low, so I'm going to stitch like 1 inch up and attach my zip. When that is done, I'm folding the hem of these pants and stitch it down. Guys, have you watched to this extent? Have you seen how simple the tutorial is? Please, why not you consider supporting me by liking this video? Like this video and subscribe to my channel. It's actually free, okay? It only helps the channel to grow. Please, after doing that, after hemming the down of my pants, I'm going to iron it very flat. I'm going to press everywhere, iron it very flat. And guys, look at what we have. It's looking nice on me. Let me know in the comment section if you like to try it out. I really hope you try it out, because watching it like this you will not understand except you try it out. Okay, and see you all in my next video. Bye. I love you all. Mwah.